guys, so I'm out here with Rowdy today. In one of the other videos I had taken and I had talked a little bit about this, with these high-strung horses, they get into a pattern and people think they're desensitizing them, and it's not done correctly because the horse takes and reacts. Sometimes these high-strung horses will freeze. And what I want to talk to you about today is behavior modification. So when these horses get in these patterns, they spook first, then they take and they'll either take and run, which is a huge reaction, or they will freeze. And generally when they come out of that freeze, everybody's seen horses just blow up, flip over, all kinds of things. That's because the horse feels like it's trapped. And what I want to do, I don't want a horse to ever feel like they don't have any other option but just to blow a cork. And I don't mind them expressing themselves. And one of the things that I try to instill in these horses very early on is to drop their head. So when I come up here and touch him, I want him to drop his head. I've really been working on this. So when I rub on him, he drops his head. Good boy. He's got a really nice kind eye right now, and he's not spooked. But in behavior modification, what you have to do is you have to see the process that the horse is going through. You have to see the pattern that they're following and then break up that pattern. And one of the things that he's really bad about is spooking. Now, yesterday I worked with him a whole lot. I rode him. He rides really good. Still spooky on the outside, snorting and stuff and whatnot. But he's got a really nice gait. And once he really settled down and started working, he was really nice. So I hope we can stay on camera. I brought the camera in a little close so you could see what I was doing. But everything I do helps everything else I do. And by getting a horse to drop their head, I've talked about this before. It is a natural physiological expression that happens in them, that when they drop their head, they naturally calm down, because that's when they eat, they get submissive, they let down, they're going to drop their head. So we kind of artificially use this to get a horse to calm down. It's just a physiological response. When they're excited, their head gets high. When they're going to bulk up, when they're going to take and stud up, what we call stud up, or get defensive, their head's going to come up. So we teach them to drop their head. So that's one of the very first things I did. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to throw my hand, and when his head comes up, and right now he's not having too bad of a reaction, I'm going to replace that behavior of him getting scared. I'm not just going to let him raise his head. You guys have seen he's been a lot worse. So this is a culmination of all these things working together. But I'm going to change that behavior or modify that behavior, not just having him raise his head, but change that behavior to drop your head. No reason to be excited. You can see him get high-headed. I'm going to say no. And what will happen, if he wants to get real resistive, I'll take and I'll squeeze his pole, release some good endorphins in his brain. The head come down. There you go. I'll pat on him, love on him. Head's going up. Not a bad reaction for what we have been dealing with, but it's still there. So this is what I mean by behavior modification. I'm not just allowing him to spook and keep his stance. It's not enough to just have the horse to stand still. The demeanor of the horse has to be correct. So I want that horse to be submissive in his give, submissive in his reaction. And what will happen a lot of times, these horses, is, and if you'll take and you'll change that behavior, say, no, I want you to drop your head. He's been a little resistive here, and he may blow up. He gets that way. Is when you take and he gets spooked, he'll actually drop his head because you've changed the pattern of behavior. You're not just allowing him to continue to think what he thinks, even though he's not moving his feet, even though he's not blowing up and getting scared and throwing his head way high. The thought is what counts. So, you see there, he really got excited there. And some people might say, well, you're ambushing him. No, this just might happen. I might have to spook a cow. I might have to holler at something, go, hey, hey, cow, hey, cow. So, just going to take and get him to drop his head there. So instead of the last thought on his mind being reactive and defensive, his last thought on his mind is being submissive. I want that head to go down. Every time. I don't care if it comes up just a little bit. We're going to take and we're just going to keep his head going down all the time. There we go. Good boy. Much better. So that right there, he didn't move. That's a good win. I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing. This is his worst side, right? So he doesn't. Step over here. So this is his worst side. See, he really jumps here. I'm just going to change that behavior, modify that behavior. Better. Drop that head. And this is what's got him to this point to where he is not as spooky about me being here. He's kind of braced up. I'm just going to take and back him up here. Anytime a horse is bracy, he really moves defensively. Good boy. Head down. And I'd really like to see him kind of taking and lick and chew. So I'll actually work his mouth here just to get his saliva gland going. Get him making some gastric juices. Yeah. And every time I switch sides with this horse, he does the exact same thing. He will take and he will spook. When you've been over here a minute, and this is what I take and I call a really wide divide. Used to, I couldn't even do this, talk with my hands. He would done be all over the place. This horse has a really wide divide between his left and his right brain. So we've got to do our best to bring those two together by constantly telling him what is pressure, what's not pressure, and modify that behavior. He wants to run so bad right now, but I just keep changing his behavior. Anything he does that gets spooked or goes on alert or that might trigger him, head down. And this can be transferred over to the saddle. You can get a horse to drop their head by touching the reins, getting them to give and break at the pole and just drop that head. It's a very good de-spooking, de-alerting. If I know something's coming that is going to take and, alert the horse, or if I see something that could potentially trigger my horse, I'll automatically ask them in the saddle to drop their head. And sometimes in the beginning, that may be manual. I may have to run my hand up their neck and say, hey, drop your head, relax. Do the best to change that behavior before it becomes an issue. This has been an issue with him. Oh, good boy. Good boy. So when we come back, you see right there, all I did was just move, and he got excited. So I'm just going to move around here. Nope. That head down. Head down. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. So I should be able to move around him without him going on alert, without him being triggered. See, his head should just be down here. Good boy. So again, reposition here. Good boy. So again, behavior modification. He did something that I deemed unacceptable. So there I took and I said, okay, head down. And then I walked around him. You see, when I come back over here, there we go. Good boy. Good boy. This is awesome. You know, he's still got a long way to go, but he's really learning to trust, and he's really learning to give. And behavior modification is just one more tool that you can put in your toolbox that's going to take and help you get your spooky horse, your high-strung horse calm. I'm not forcing him here to do this. He can react. He can express himself. I just change the behavior and say, the last thing I want you to think about is dropping your head. And I'll even, you know, like before, I'll just take and I'll stick my finger in his mouth and say, hey, salivate a little bit. Let him suck on my finger there. Head down. Get those gastric juices flowing. Good boy. He's come a long way. Still got a long way to go. So I'm going to end this short video up right here. I hope it takes and helps you. If you have any questions about it, I know I covered a lot of stuff there. Some terms in a short amount of time. And right now I'm kind of out of air. The allergies are really killing me, so I'm talking kind of fast. If y'all have any questions about this, if you would like to take and, you know, have a conversation about it, take and just leave a comment. You can always email me, and I can take and I can help you with this. And this is not just about dropping their head. It's a lot of different things. If a horse is doing something that you deem undesirable, change the pattern that leads up to it. And always end on a desirable end note, if you will. So, remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about us. And until next time, trust in the Lord and do good. Live off the land and enjoy the bounty of it. We'll see you later.